Good morning, everyone. We've got a resonant voice this morning, right? It's good. We're going to start our service this morning by singing Put Your Roots Down by Linda Hartwell. And we're fortunate to have members of the ever-evolving and flexible Chalice singers to help us in leading our hymns this morning. Please hum or move along. This one's sort of it's called Put Your Roots Down, and so you might actually feel this feeling of like where your sits bones are hitting down there and it's rooting down into the ground and your feet are there and feel it. Put your roots down, put your feet on. Even in your seats you can do this. It's great. Here we go.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen.
'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones.
'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones.
Are you listening? Are you listening? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening?
The ever-evolving Chalice singers. Welcome. Welcome to Westside Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm Lisa Reitzes. It is my great joy to be gathering with you this day with our speaker today, Westside member Keo Capestany, Scott Farrell, the Chalice singers, John Hanson and Larry Jones, and Marianne Key are providing the music. So good to see you, Marianne. Judi Finney will be lighting our chalice, and community educator Kevin Porcupine O'Malley will be sharing our time for all ages. Henry Sikora and Nate Mesnard are our tech experts connecting us here in the sanctuary with you viewing remotely. And for all the gifts of these folks, we are grateful. It's a blessing to be able to worship together and to be here with all of you today. If you're here with us for the first time, or the first time in a while, welcome and welcome back. We are so glad you're here to share in this time, to make some space in your life, to attend to your heart and your spirit, to come together in community. Please visit our website or scan the QR code in the pews to fill out a Getting to Know You welcome form so that we can send you our weekly electronic newsletter, The Westside Week, which is full of information about upcoming worship services and other congregational activities, both in person and virtually. We hope that you'll be able to stay after the service for conversation and community in the social hall downstairs and on Zoom, catching up and seeing warm faces on this mild mid-May day as we sit in the marine layer of the Salish Sea. We gather today, indeed, from many locations, we take this moment to particularly acknowledge that our congregation resides on the traditional territory of the Duwamish people. In this acknowledgement, we recognize the Duwamish heritage imbued in the mountains, valleys, waterways, and shorelines that surround us all. May we nurture our relationships with our coastal Salish neighbors, especially the Duwamish people, and our shared responsibilities to this place. Let us take a moment to offer humble respect for this place and its peoples and renew our commitments to the work of authentic reconciliation. Whoever you are, wherever you have come from, whatever the color of your skin, whoever and however you love, however your body moves and your brain works, however you identify, you are welcome in this faith community. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition has no test of faith, no creed or oath to swear. We have instead the promises we make to one another, commitments we make to heal a hurting world within and beyond our world. So because I know I see some faces I don't recognize or some people I haven't seen for a while, let's take a moment to greet each other in whatever way feels right and safe for everyone. That could be smiling eyes, a nod, an elbow bump, a wave. Let's just take a few moments to greet each other. Wonderful. Just the sight of those greetings is very heartwarming. So our speaker today is Westside member Capestany, known to many in this congregation, but new to some of our newer members and friends. It is so good to see you in person, Keo. I'm going to introduce you, and Alicia, his wife. It is so great to have you here. So, Keo describes himself as 95%, not 75, 95% retired, limiting himself to translations and attorney-client interviews about 20 hours a month. He's creating a mini forest in his backyard and attending events for his grandchildren and great-grandchildren and other family gatherings. Keo is looking for soapboxes to preach his pumping iron gospel, to fight elderly fragility by worshiping old-fashioned barbells as the low-tech old man that he is. And he says, admiring the increasing beauty of my wife, she says that it is rather my eyesight decreasing. Keo. Our opening words from Keo.
Most of the greatest evils that man has inflicted upon man came through people feeling quite certain about something which in fact was false. Bertrand Russell. Doubt is not a pleasant condition, but certainty is an absurd one. Voltaire.
Thank you. Great words to start us off here on our theme today. In each week's service, we invite a member of our congregation to light the chalice of our shared Unitarian Universalist faith, which represents our beacon of hope and our call to action as a community. Today, our chalice lighter is Judi Finney, And we've been asking all of our chalice lighters to answer the question, what gives you hope? Judi?
I'm just going to take this in. How lovely to see all of you. It's rather emotional. So, good morning. Maybe I'll just do that. So, I was invited to light the chalice many months ago, actually December, I think it was. And so I've had a lot of time to think about what gives me hope. And this is a really lovely practice, actually, that I'd invite you all to do. So thank you so much, Liz, for the invitation. I realize that there are many things that give me hope. My lush and thriving garden, focusing on who is in my life rather than who isn't, and I feel hopeful looking out at all of you. The first thought that entered my mind, though, when I started to think about this has to do with children. My house is a block from Genesee Hill School, and so I have the pleasure of seeing lots of children early in the morning as they pass in front of my house on their way to school. What I noticed early this year, as more children were going back to in-person school, was that the laughter and joy had returned in front of my house. I hadn't realized how silent my neighborhood had become. I felt so emotional and moved to tears. It felt almost normal. These resilient, brave, and playful children were doing the normal thing of going to school. Yes, their lives have been forever altered in ways that I cannot imagine. And yet, here they are, walking to school with their friends, doing kid stuff. Children give me hope. Bless you to the children who are here with us this morning. Thank you.
So as Judi now lights our chalice, yep, there we go. One more task. So as Judi lights our chalice, please join me in speaking the words of our congregation's affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another. Thank you so much, Judi.
Yes, thank you, Judi, and thank you, everyone. Ko, I just love the sound of your voice. It's so powerful and makes me, some voices just say, listen to me. And Ko has one of those voices. So I'd like to invite you all to rise in body or spirit as we sing Morning Has Come by Jason Shelton, who is one of my favorite singers. And we haven't sung this for so long together. It's one of my favorite things to feel the energy from the congregations. But we do ask you to please just, you can hum along or move and feel the energy of morning has come. And we're feeling more of those beautiful mornings coming up here. Okay?
There
In a moment, we will engage in a collective act of generosity known as our offering, when we take time to actively support Westside and its many ministries with our gifts by text or by check or by cash. Each month, we choose a community organization to share 1/3 of our undesignated offering gifts, that is, those donations not designated as your pledge contributions. For the month of May, our community giving recipient is Babies of Homelessness. Babies of Homelessness delivers diapers, pull-ups, wipes, and formula to families in need and agencies in King and Snohomish counties. They also provide a monthly supply of diapers and other basics to 20 agencies in South King and Snohomish counties to expand our reach in areas where few or no resources exist for ongoing diaper support. 1 in 14 children under age 6 in Washington state is experiencing homelessness right now. It costs about $80 per month, including tax, because diapers are sales taxed, to provide diapers for one child. So please donate generously as you can to help homeless families desperate to keep their babies clean, dry, and healthy. So you can give by text by sending a message with a $sign and the amount you want to give to 616-404-4171. If you need to update your payment information, text update to that same number. For folks who are here in the sanctuary and prefer to share your gifts by cash or check, baskets will be passed, but you'll also notice that there's a box in the back of the sanctuary to collect your giving. If you'd like your gift to be recorded as coming from you, please use one of the envelopes in the pews. Thank you to everyone for giving as you are able to support Westside and Babies of Homelessness. Your generosity of time, treasure, and presence are gifts that sustain us as a community. And now please enjoy this gift of music from John and Larry. Thank you so much, John and Larry. It's just really great to hear those sounds. Each week we come together as a congregation in all the ways that we can to connect and share that which matters most to us. At this time, we make sacred space for holding our joys and our sorrows. We once again are rocked by a mass shooting, this time in Buffalo, New York. An individual targeting a supermarket in a predominantly black neighborhood of Buffalo with the explicit intent to kill black people. Explicit, so explicit that the law enforcement community has been vocal immediately about this as a hate crime. This is only the latest in a string of gun violence episodes in our country that never seem to end. We share in the grieving with the rest of the country, with the community of Buffalo, and with those families. We recognize that for a reason that I can't fathom, as a culture, we tolerate gun violence. I recently saw the just really heart-rending sign that said, pro-life equals Sandy Hook kids entering high school next year. Just keeps coming, just keeps coming. I know there are those in our community for whom gun violence and trying to stem the tide of weaponry in our culture is their passion and their activist call. Thank you to those who are fighting hard and being vocal about the need to stem the tide of gun violence in this country. And for now, we extend our care and compassion across the country to Buffalo, almost diagonally at the other end of the country, and reach out as well to families all across the country grappling with these particularly awful tragedies. And so now, let us, in a moment of silence, followed by music, hold in the tender vessel of our loving care all the joys and sorrows, both known and unknown, of our beloved community and our extended family of humans across the country and across the world. some 25 years ago, which feels like a really long time ago, when I was on the art history faculty of a smaller private university in San Antonio, Texas, the long-standing chaplain asked that I attend the interview sermons of the Presbyterian ministers who were being considered as his successor. In one of the many ways that being in South Texas confounded my expectations and forced me to confront my stereotypes, this chaplain's humanity, pastoral depth, and inclusive embrace of students and faculty who were not part of his denomination, nor even Christian, nor necessarily believers or theists, nor straight, reminded me to keep the doors of my heart and mind open. I vividly remember the sermon given by the young minister who turned out to get the job. His theme to the students was fidelity to faith and profession of faith, how important it was to be steadfast and unwavering and vocal in devotion to Christian doctrine as the grounding for a spiritual and meaningful life. Now, this university was formerly Presbyterian, but then was an officially non-sectarian institution that was striving to promote the liberal arts and humanities along with its other professional schools. In my classroom, curiosity and scholarly inquiry, perpetually asking questions, was the order of the day. So it stuck in my ears, me, a Jewish atheist, Unitarian Universalist, and a humanist historian, was this minister candidate's claim that doubt in one's faith was dangerous and to be resisted. It was an affront to God. Doubt, he said, was the next thing to atheism, that proverbial slippery slope. Now, this candidate wasn't my favorite, but he did get the job, and I had an illuminating conversation with the senior chaplain about how he fully expected this young minister to have his spiritual outlook shaped by the place, the academic culture of expansive learning, the reasonably diverse student body for the late 90s, and the liberal values being cultivated in his student congregation. And then I found this reading in Our Gray Hymnal by UU minister Robert T. Weston, which I read when I was asked to address students honored as Phi Beta Kappa awardees. Ever the subversive. And my chaplain friend smiled. Cherish Your Doubts by Robert T. Weston. Cherish your doubts, for doubt is the attendant of truth. Doubt is the key to the door of knowledge. It is the servant of discovery. A belief which may not be questioned binds us to error, for there is incompleteness and imperfection in every belief. Doubt is the touchstone of truth. It is an acid which eats away the false. Let no one fear the truth, that doubt may consume it, for doubt is a testing of belief. The truth stands boldly and unafraid. It is not shaken by the testing. For truth, if it be truth, arises from each testing stronger, more secure. Those that would silence doubt are filled with fear. Their houses are built on shifting sands. But those who fear not doubt and know its use are founded on rock. They shall walk in the light of growing knowledge. The work of their hands shall endure. Therefore, let us not fear doubt, but let us rejoice in its help. It is to the wise as a staff to the blind. Doubt is the attendant of truth.
Thank you, Lisa. So our next song is called Let the Mystery Be, and it was originally written by Iris Dement. And this arrangement is by our Kathleen Tracy, who most of us know. And Kathleen is going to be our guest musician and sort of paired up with another person on June 12th here. So make sure to come back for that special service. We look forward to seeing most of you here. And then the Chalice sings. Oh, I also want to just take a second to thank Marion Key for joining us again up here. It's so wonderful to have Marion back. And of course, John and Larry, it's so wonderful to be back here in the sanctuary and having all this live music again. Doesn't it feel great? Yeah, it's wonderful. Okay.
Some say you're gonna come back. Some say you rest in the arms of the Savior if in sinful ways you lack. Some say they're coming back in a garden, bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all come from. Everybody is worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say they're going to a place called glory, and I ain't saying it ain't a fact. But I've heard that I'm on the road to purgatory, and I don't like the sound of that. I believe in love and live my life accordingly. Now choose to let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all come from. Everybody is worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Think I'll just let the mystery be.
Well, it's a real pleasure to be, after such a long time, again preaching in this cathedral of Unitarian Universalism in Seattle. And my pleasure is greater because my girlfriend of almost 70 years is present here, which I know is a sacrifice for many, because many of the things I'm going to say, she's not going to like. You know, many years ago, I was downstairs during the service helping with the kids. And I had a group of 5 or 6 kids, preschool or kindergarten, I don't remember. And I was trying to explain to them why I had an accent. And I told them, well, it's because I was born in Cuba, and in Cuba we don't speak English there, and also I came to Seattle as an adult and learned English as an adult. And then I said, well, do you know that Jesus had an accent? Why? And the kid, nobody said. Finally, one of the older kids lifted his hand, and I said, okay, why Jesus had an accent? And he said, because he came from heaven, and they don't speak English there. And there is another, that's true, but the other one that I'm going to tell you, I don't know if it's true or not. During the First World War, they had what they called the trench warfare. And the trench of the Americans was within shouting distance from the Germans. And the German army, all the soldiers, had a belt buckle that had the inscription, Gott mit uns, which means God is with us. Incredibly, in the Second World War, they have the same, even they were Nazis, but they had the same inscription there. So at one moment, the Germans started to chant, God mit uns, God mit uns, God mit uns. So the Americans started chanting, we got mittens too, we got mittens too. And now, the point of that story is that God might have been with them, but didn't help them because they lost both wars badly. Now, I'm going to tell you, I pretend to be a preacher, and all preachers start with a quote from the gospel. And this is one about when Jesus was talking, what they call parables, of a king that have a big banquet and send invitations. And everybody sent excuses. No, I cannot go because... So he got, that king got a little upset. And this is in Luke 14:23. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in. Okay, this is probably the most dangerous, not the most, but a very dangerous verse from the Bible. Because since the 5th century, it has been interpreted, was first interpreted by St. Augustine, that the Catholic Church, being the only true church out of which there was no salvation, had the duty and the right to compel people to become Catholics. And just imagine what that costs in the next 1,000 or so years. That was the wake of certainty. All the damage that we did because of that verse. I'm going to talk today about uncertainty and how it should be embraced and made irrelevant in our Unitarian lives. And I'm going to start with the greatest uncertainty. The uncertainty that is the greatest fear of humankind is death and what happened after death. And based on that, I'm going to ask you 3 basic questions. If ever is proven beyond any doubt that there is a God and that she is a very nice being, would you have to change the way that you have behaved until that point? If you are a good Unitarian, you wouldn't have to change anything. Now, if it is proven that there are gods and there are nasty beings, malignant, would you change the way you have behaved until that point? No, because it would do you no good. You cannot change anything about that. So what I'm trying to say, not that there is or there is no God. What I'm trying to say that it is irrelevant to our lives. Because if they're gods and they're nice, we don't have anything to worry about. If they're gods and they're nasty, we can do nothing about. I was told once, I was an adjuster here in Seattle for 25 years, and a plaintiff attorney told me, the banks own everything but the insurance companies, because the insurance companies own the banks. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. I do know that the insurance companies are very wealthy, had a lot of money. But why? Because insurance companies sell certainty. That's their product. They're not policies. They are selling material certainty. You buy a life insurance policy because you want to be certain that if anything happened to you, that your dependents are going to be taken care of. You buy car insurance because you want to be certain that if you have an accident and you are sued and all that, that the insurance company is going to defend you. You buy home insurance because you want to be certain that if the house goes up in flames, that the insurance company is going to come through and take care of that. The same thing happens with celestial. The churches are very rich because they sell celestial certainty. But now, let me tell you another story. As you heard, I preached the gospel of pumping iron, and I follow a little bit the weightlifting competition. And the present champion of the world, the record holding, is a fellow from the Republic of Georgia. And that guy has a record of lifting 500, let me say, make sure, because I don't want to tell lies. Exactly what he, 587.4 pounds, you know. But I mentioned that guy because he is the only one I have seen, usually through YouTube, that when he approaches the weightlifting platform, he crosses himself. And by the way, he doesn't do it the right way, because I was taught as a Catholic that you do it this way. No, the guy does it this way. So he's a heretic. But that guy, when he approaches the weightlifting platform, and just before he grabs the barbell, he crosses himself again. Now, let's assume he's been training for about 20 years, and he's a huge guy. Let's assume that he takes a sabbatical year. And for a year, 365 days, he doesn't touch a barbell. When he comes back, I can assure you that he would not be able to lift not even 400 pounds. Because it is the training, not the crossing, that helped him. I'm going to quote now from Frances Moore Lepage that 50 years ago she published a bestseller called Diet for a Small World. And now she's printing a new edition, and she was interviewed for the paper. And she said, we need to feel that we matter, that we count, that we have power. We need a sense of meaning, that what we do has meaning. and we need connection with others. To me, crawling into a hole is destroying myself. Human beings don't need certainty. All we need is just the possibility that our acts will matter. I don't know if she's Unitarian or not, but that is very Unitarian way of talking. In 2013, I faced the uncertainty of a very aggressive cancer. My oncologist told me many times, perhaps he thought that I didn't understand English very well, so he told me many times, you are high risk. I can assure you, not for 1 second, I pray for my healing. My wife probably did. It might be that's what turned the trick, but myself, I rely on the technical expertise and solid medical science of the Seattle Cancer Care Alliance. And here I am. Madame Curie said, it is not easy. Life is not easy for any of us. But so what? We must have perseverance and, above all, confidence in ourselves. We Unitarians try to live in such a way that nobody will have to tell lies at our funerals. We are aware that life is uncertain, but we do not fear uncertainty. We embrace theological uncertainty by searching for truth in life and by searching for life in truth. We face material uncertainty with preparation and courage. We create ourselves. We face life without excuses. We embrace uncertainty of all kinds with responsibility and peace of mind. We all know perfectly the horrible story during the 15th century of the wars between Protestants and Catholics that were all of them certain that they had the true faith. And for almost 1,000 years before that, during the Middle Ages, theological certainty resulted in the wasting of the power of human intellect. Most great minds during that millennium could have changed the fate of humanity instead of wasting their time studying theology, if they had studied sciences. Just think of the human waste, of the human lives, for all the disaster for both sides of the conflict, of the Crusades. Pain and suffering for everybody, thousands of people dead. If the effort is wasted over theology, from the fall of the Roman Empire to the Renaissance have been invested into education and science, I am very sure that we will have now a better world. Now, we believe in the theology of the doubt. We have the humility of uncertainty. We admire the humility of Montaigne, whose motto in big letters painted on the walls of his library was, "What do I know?" The search for truth is our sacrament. In our faith, uncertainty is our faithful companion. We do not know, and that's why we search. We do not know the truth, and we are proud that we do not know the truth. We are not tied up to any certainty. We are only bound to the free search for truth. Our way of life is a life worth living, embracing uncertainty, without scriptures, without revelations, without dogmatic authorities. A life full of questions with answers that generate even more questions. Let me end again with a quote from Montaigne. If I had to live again, I would live as I have lived. Yes, that should be our goal, to live a good, honorable Unitarian life, a life without causing unnecessary harm to anyone, a life giving everyone his due, a life that you would believe again, you will live again if you have to live again. So be it, que así sea.
So this song, our closing hymn today, is actually a little bit more meditative and a little more like, I love it. It's called Go Lift It Up, and it's hymn number 1057 if you wanted to look long in the teal hymnals. And I think we've done this once before since I've been here, but it's not one we do commonly, but I think it's really, really beautiful. And so I invite you to tune into your heart and feel this feeling of like, with the message and the music that's gone today, maybe we can all go lift it up.
What a beautiful place to end our service in those voices and those words. Invite Keo to offer us our closing words on his theme of theological uncertainty.
If you wish to strive for peace, peace of soul and pleasure, then believe. If you wish to be a devotee of truth, then inquire. Nietzsche.
Nietzsche's not usually on my quotation list. I like that one. Thank you so much, Keo, for those closing words, for bringing our time together this week to an end. Deep thanks to everyone who participated in this service, most especially Keo, Porcupine, they're off in Lincoln Park, all the musicians, and Ellen Wanlish for these spectacular flower arrangements. As always, it is a pleasure and blessing to do this sacred work together.